Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Good to have you here, as always. So this week, another top 8. Yeah, got to keep them going for a little bit. I'm having fun doing these top 8s, and apparently you guys really like them too. You've thrown me so many more suggestions. I have a massive list of top 8s that I'm going to be doing. Now, these top 8 lists, just want to clarify, they're not reviews. They're just my top 8 lists. These are movies and TV shows and whatever that I have already seen. So this week, what am I doing? TV shows. Biker TV shows. Yeah, because everyone loves the biker TV shows, including me. Yeah. Now, this is going to include a lot of different types of biker TV shows, from documentaries to reality TV, to dramas, you know, whatever. Everything's going to be on this little list of mine. Buckle up, everyone. It's going to be another great top 8 list. So grab yourself a coffee, grab yourself popcorn or whatever. And hey, if you want to buy me a popcorn or coffee or support this channel in any way, you can. Head down to the links below. You can buy me a coffee. You can sign up for my Patreon. You can buy merchandise. I have so many different ways available that you can support me in my little YouTube journey. So head down there now, and I'll appreciate every little bit of support you can give me. But let's get into it. Let's get into the top 8 biker TV shows. Let's do it. Okay, so coming in at number 8, bottom of the list, biggest dog on this list is The Devil's Ride. Now, The Devil's Ride is a reality TV show that was made a little while back. Focuses around a social motorcycle club called the Laughing Devils in San Diego. And it's basically about their growth and all the back and forth. And then they have the split, and there's all this, you know, fighting going on and blah, 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 blah. But it's all bullshit. It is totally made up. It's not a real club. It was never, most of these guys are actors. It's the most laughable. And considering it's the Laughing Devils, yeah, everyone just laughed at this show. It was a complete pile of horseshit. I unfortunately watched it. And I actually thought it had great promise to begin with. Then I realized that none of it was reality. In fact, they tried to validate it, you know, by bringing in members of a well-known 1% club. They didn't say which one, and all these guys were wearing support gear. Now, if you really know anything about 1% clubs, 1%ers don't wear support gear. Yeah, supporters wear support gear. Members wear members gear. Members can wear support gear. Supporters can't wear members gear. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent about this horrible show. I don't want to take too much time. It is an absolute train wreck of a TV show. It's kind of good for a laugh. But if you want to see what true motorcycle club culture is really like, don't watch this show. Okay, so coming in at number 7 on my list is a little mini-series that came out. Now, this one's not really about the biker lifestyle and culture as such, but it is a little bit about the history. This show is Harley and the Davidsons. This is about the formation of Harley Davidson motorcycles, which is an American icon, has played the biggest part in building that biker culture, you know, biker lifestyle, outlaw bikers, everything. All comes down to Harley Davidsons, really, you know. So Harley and the Davidsons, great series. I really enjoyed it. I've watched it a few times. It's really well made, and it just gives you a great insight into how the company actually came about and the passion that went into making these motorcycles. And it's also just a really great TV show. So go check it out. It's number 7 on my list, Harley and the Davidsons. All right, so coming in number 6 on the list is Gangland Undercover. Yeah, so the first Gangland Undercover series was based on the life of Charles Falco, an undercover agent who infiltrated and became members of a motorcycle club. Now, the Gangland Undercover series does actually look at different motorcycle clubs, mostly those ones who are infiltrated. So this is very much a one-sided view of motorcycle clubs, mostly from law enforcement viewpoints. It is an interesting watch. It does give you a little insight into some of the structures of outlaw motorcycle clubs and all that. But I mean, it's a fairly interesting watch. It does really focus on the gangland aspect of it. but you do get to see some glimpses inside of what outlaw bike life is kind of like. But great series, and it is still going. I do believe they're still making episodes. I haven't watched it in a while, but it is out there for all to see, so go check it out. Gangland Undercover, number 6 on the list. Okay, so coming in at number 5 on the list is a documentary type series produced by History, Outlaw Chronicles, Hells Angels. Now, this is a documentary about the Hells Angels, about a lot of their life, a lot of their history, a lot of their structures, and a lot of the crime and the infiltration. It features interviews with Jay Dobbins, who is a well-known FBI informant who infiltrated the Hells Angels, and it was made mostly in part with George Christie Jr., who is a well-known Hells Angel, one of the longest-serving presidents of the Ventura Hells Angels, who now talks openly about his life with the Hells Angels. Outlaw Chronicles, great show. Everyone knows it. Most of you have probably seen it. I have a couple of times myself. That's why it's on this list. Alrighty, so we're ripping on down through the list. We're heading on down that TV highway. What's number 4? Well, this one's going to be a bit of a shocker for you. Well, maybe not. Mayans MC. Yeah, that spin-off TV show from Sons of Anarchy. Yeah. This one focuses around, obviously, the Mayan MC. You know, Sons of Anarchy were enemies and friends and enemies, you know, all over the place. They had become an integral part of the Sons of Anarchy storyline. So they did a spin-off series after Sons of Anarchy finished, obviously. Now, I only watched the first season, and I've watched a few other, you know, episodes of later seasons of Mayans MC. I didn't particularly really gel with the show, especially as I'd come from Sons of Anarchy and gone into watching that, and it was kind of felt like a little bit of a letdown afterwards. Now, the show itself is great. They've done quite a few seasons, and it does have characters and actors from Sons of Anarchy in it. So those stories are still being told through Mayans MC. And yeah, if you're a huge Sons of Anarchy fan, you know, especially, you know, anything written by Kurt Sutter, Mayans MC, great TV show. Go check it out. Oh, here we go. Here's number 3 on the list. Following up Mayans MC, it's got to be Sons of Anarchy. Oh, Sons of Anarchy is number 3 on the list? Yeah, Sons of Anarchy only made number 3 on this list. Now, Sons of Anarchy is probably the most well-known biker TV show. It is the first TV show that centers and focuses around an outlaw biker club. So obviously it is fairly higher on my list, but the reason it's not higher is because it's Hollywood. At the end of the day, it's a Hollywood production. Everything is blown out of proportion. Of course, a lot of the club structure and, you know, the history and, you know, the way they portray the clubs, very accurate. Kurt Sutter obviously did his homework, he did his research, and he consulted with members of outlaw motorcycle clubs, and there's even a member of the Hells Angels in Sons of Anarchy. You'll know who it is. Happy, of course. But Sons of Anarchy, great show, great drama, but it could have been told without the bike club. It's just a great story. For me, like I said, the whole Hollywood aspect of Sons of Anarchy, I'm not going to rate it higher on my list, but still, great TV show, and I still do watch clips from it even today. Okay, so here we go, ripping down the list into the number 2 spot, you know, like a big old V-twin, Ride with Norman Reedus. That's right, now, this is not a fictional TV show, it's not a documentary. This is about Norman Reedus and his rides, kinda. Now, Ride, if you haven't seen the show, it follows Norman Reedus. If you don't know who he is, go check out The Walking Dead, old Daryl Dixon. He plays Funny Sonny in the Bike Riders movie. So Norman Reedus is a lifelong bike aficionado. He's just mad about motorbikes. He takes them everywhere. He has a Triumph Tiger 800 that he travels around the world with. It's his daily ride. His love of bikes has inspired the TV show Ride with Norman Reedus. And I believe he's done 4 seasons now, and they are phenomenal shows. He basically travels all around the world, all throughout America, and he does these incredible rides, and he meets up with different people. Quite often he rides with different celebrity friends of his. He's also ridden with MCs on episodes of his TV shows, including the East Bay Dragons. So fantastic show. The most incredible scenery and most incredible rides and most incredible motorbikes. And just Norman's narration and his passion and everything about this TV show is phenomenal, and it gives you a really great insight to all these different places that you can explore on a motorbike, but it also gives you a massive insight into the biker culture, the biker world, with the different clubs and the people that he meets. Yeah, go check it out. Ride with Norman Reedus. You won't be disappointed. Oh yeah, so we're getting through the list now. We're coming up to number one. Oh, what's number one gotta be? It's not Sons of Anarchy, it's not the Mayans. Oh, what can it be? Well, before we get to that, I do actually want to give a special mention on this list to another little TV show. Now, it's one that I haven't actually seen, but it is highly rated and highly recommended, and I know so many of you guys out there have told me to check it out and put it on the list. I have seen a couple of short clips from this TV show, but I haven't watched it yet, but that's going to change. What am I talking about? What am I even babbling about? Biker Mice from Mars. Yeah, apparently this was an 80s TV show, obviously about biker mice from Mars. That's about all I know about the show, but I am going to go check it out. That's why it gets a special mention. So, hey, shout out to everyone who suggested that one. Oh, okay, so what's number one? What's number one on my top 8 list? Well, this one is an Australian production that came out, I believe, in the mid to late 2000s, and it is called Bikie Wars Brothers in Arms. Now, this is a series that was based on actual events. This was based on the formation of the Banditos Motorcycle Club in Australia and the Milpera Massacre, which was as a result of the Banditos forming. If you know anything about the histories of the outlaw motorcycle clubs in Australia, this is one of the most historical events ever to happen in outlaw biker culture in Australia. The Milpera Massacre. You know, in the 70s, biker clubs were growing and forming, and the Comancheros were one of the biggest growing clubs in Sydney. So they grew, they got big. Eventually, one of their members went to America and met with the Banditos. He really liked the way they operated, so he came back to Australia with the intention of becoming Banditos. This caused a massive split. Now, this TV show focuses around the main character, Snoddy. Snodgrass, you know, who was one of the founders of the Banditos in Australia. He was the one who brought it back from Texas and brought it to Australia. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the show, and if you've never seen it or if you've never heard about the Milpera Massacre, I highly recommend this TV show. It is really well made. They did it justice. They did their research. Now, I was actually hanging around with one of the clubs that were involved at the time. They were working with the production crew, and they actually came to one of the nationals and they did some filming, and yeah, they were talking to members and everything. And I was around at that time, so I got to see all this happening. I was aware of everything that was going on, and it was great. Now, a lot of politics got involved with the production of this TV show, and the production company ultimately decided to just go their own way and do their own thing, and they produced this TV show. It was originally meant to be a movie. Now, they did a fantastic job anyway. They basically gave a non-biased view according to all stories, you know, because everyone had different stories and everyone wanted to tell their own story, which, you know, caused a bit of conflict. But for me, it's at number one because it is very realistic. Most of this story is pretty accurate as to what happened. I've read about the Milpera Massacre. I've heard a lot about it from members that were actually there, and I know a lot about the history. So this one was pretty darn accurate. It is well worth watching. It's pretty gritty, and it is just a great insight into the history of outlaw biker clubs in Australia. And it's just a darn good watch. So go check it out. You won't regret it. Bikie Wars Brothers in Arms, number one on my list of biker TV shows. Woohoo. All right, so there you have it. There's another top 8 list, my top 8 biker TV shows. I hope you enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed making it. I love talking about movies and TV shows, and I'm going to keep doing them. Now, got a few new things coming up in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. But hey, thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate you being here, taking the time to watch it. And hey, if you want to keep supporting me and keep supporting the channel, many different ways. All the links are in the description below. But as always, the best way to keep supporting the channel is to give these videos a big like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that little bell to get notified. That's the important part. So then you'll know when I've got new videos coming out. You don't want to miss a thing, right? All right, that's it for me for another week, folks. I'll see you on Thursday. Have a great week. Be safe. Shiny side down and forever two wheels. Peace out. Love and light to you all.